Hey, it's me, favorite fanboy. I'm back. Fighting game video. So, Tekken 8. No! 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 My game free! No!
No more Sanctum. No more Sanctum.
So, how to get into the closed beta test? Like, I'm not a Tekken player. I'm an anime player. I'm a Street Fighter player. Oh, she's learning. No, she's not. But I'm not a Tekken player. In fact, I'm about as far from Tekken player as you can possibly get. It's like, you've got 4 buttons. Each one, like, controls a different limb. It's weird. But, you know, I'm not someone who knows how to say no. So when my friends were all applying for the closed beta test, I was like, yeah, sure. I'll do it too. See, I've tried to play Tekken before. And accepted that I was probably going to have the same experience here. You know, play for 8 hours, be bad at the game, get my ass kicked by people who are better than me, call it a day. You know, it's like, it's Tekken. Like, it's the hard fighting game. It's the hard one. So I got in thinking, you know, might be fun to stream. I played it for 10 hours. And then the next day I had work. So, you know, let it be. Also, you would think, but I came back for another 7 hours the next day for stream. So, you know, what changed to me between 7 and 8 to make me decide I want to recommend this to people? I want to talk about why I enjoyed this and why I think other people might. To me, Tekken 8, way more hype than Tekken 7 was, personally. And I think there's 2 main reasons. There's the heat system, and there's the fact there's actual, like, combo trials now. Like, and an actual tutorial. I talked to, like, a friend earlier, and it's like, actual tutorial, huge. So, I'm gonna talk about the heat system first. I think this will be the more controversial opinion, because, you know, I'd rather put a scrub-ass mechanic in the Tekken game. Now, I think everyone understands that when you see a fighting game, you want to do the cool shit in the fighting game, right? When I see a cool combo, I want to learn that combo. And it's rewarding to learn how to do the combo. It's rewarding to do it. You know, that's a very rewarding experience. Now, the difference between that and other games, so Tekken and any other game, Tekken's always had a bit of a problem when I tried to learn. It's like, I play with someone who knows what they're doing, and I feel like there's a shit ton of homework I need to do to understand what you understand, right? And yeah, it's the same with 2D fighters, right? Like, every fighter has that homework in it. But when you're in the 2D fighter ecosystem, it's not hard to, like, learn the rest. You know, almost easy, I would say, to an extent, to actually learn how to do the rest. But when you're in that 3D fighter ecosystem, it's just Tekken. This skill's not transferable, so you're committed to liking Tekken. You don't get to do the cool stuff until you learn the combo. Meanwhile, Heat gives you a pretty cool looking combo, right? Even as a beginner, you just get your controller, you press the Heat button. First of all, two buttons, right? First time you press it, boom, hit them. Awesome, epic. Second time you press the button, right? You get the cool combo. You can try the combo into it. In fact, in the first combo trial, you would, for like my character, I think for every character, you learn how to do launcher. So like, hold down, press 2. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold down 2, and then heat again, and that's it. Right? So Heat's awesome like that. It also lets dumb, stupid babies like me do an electric without having to, like, do the weird electric thing. I don't even understand how that one's done. It's like, huh? I don't. It's a weird thing. Now, I'm sure that this makes some longtime fans upset. To an extent, Tekken's always been the only real fighting game, right? Like, before 7, well, sorry, before like Tag 2 and Rage, Tekken didn't really have like that comeback mechanic. And even then, Rage was easy enough to play around, right? I mean, there's like Akuma, Rage, meter, management, and that's kind of it. I think Tekken 8 having Heat that gives you a cool looking combo for free, and a launcher into Heat combo being the first combo for everyone, amazing, right? That's the first thing you learn in the combo trials, and it's like, hey, pretty easy base level stuff. Here's your launcher. Awesome. Actually, like, amazing idea. Speak of which, Tekken has always been rapid combos, I feel. In Tekken 7, you see exclusively sample combos, which they're nice, but they never give you a chance to really learn how things work if you're a beginner, if you're just getting into it, or like what your move actually does. You just see combo, do combo. You don't learn the parts of the combo. It's like making a sandwich without knowing what your fillings are. Yeah, at the end of the day, you make a good sandwich, like a good combo, but you don't know like what parts you can swap out for other things to maybe optimize it further. Tekken 8 has a main moves list, which tells you, hey, here's moves like that matter out of the 100 plus that like, because a lot of them are situational. It's like, hey, these like maybe 20-ish, possibly up to like 30. These ones are important. The rest, they're filling, right? They're like, yeah, no, that's like your salt. Wait, no, salt's pretty important for food. That's not a good metaphor, is it? They're like your, I don't know, what's the spice no one uses? Thyme? People use thyme, fuck. There's some spice. I don't know what, but it's some spice, okay? It's great to have the game kind of handhold you then. Be like, hey, these moves are good. And went to combo trials. By the time I hit the 3rd combo challenge, I was already just thinking to myself, wait, I did this earlier. Can I still do it here? No, I can't. Why can't I do that? Oh, this move launches you too far, right? That's good. That's the kind of like inquisitiveness you should feel with fighting games, I feel. And I'm very happy that Tekken 8 has that. I think these two factors have done wonders to make Tekken 8 feel accessible to me. And obviously on top of that, rollback? You say the R word. You say the rollback word. Mwah. Chef's kiss. I love rollback. You love rollback. We all love rollback. And I'm glad to say in my 18 hours of Tekken 8, I didn't like feel the rollback was too poorly implemented. It was pretty solid for most of the experience. There are a few cases where, you know, some devices couldn't handle Tekken 8. So, you know, their computers would die just trying to show everything on screen. Another thing, this game looks so good. This game looks brilliant. I've heard people say it doesn't look as impactful, or like feel as impactful as Tekken 7 did, but I think the presentation in 8, it's so much stronger than 7 could ever try to be. And that's to its just because 7's so old, right? Like Unreal Engine 5, beautiful particle effects. Yeah. Like I went back to 7 to get some footage for this video, and one thing I'll say that felt missing to me was matches felt barren, right? Like when I played as Lily in Tekken 8, like small tiny thing, when she like says magnifique or adieu, or even like when she does her like little up 2, that's the Tekken 8 move, by the way, it's awesome. I'd be sorry, this is Tekken 8 edition, it was in Tekken 7. But when she does the up 2 and goes, Sheila, I was so happy, like that I could just say something and it would make sense. Because I went back to Tekken 7 and it was just grunts. Or even like cool intros, right? I loved it when like Lily chases after her cat. Or how she'll talk to Azucena with the special intro. Or Suka, or Leroy. How that's all special. I love that. It's so good when fighting games give that. And I'm happy, like when I have like a little, oh, it's your canon event, right? The windscreens also, they're presented so nice. Even if they use the same animations in Tekken 7, which in my case, I spent the whole time like playing Lily. Yeah, I use the same animation almost all the time. But the way it was presented, the way it just focuses on the character, gets to the background, you get the text, it looked so good. And it kept me engaged way more. Also, the feeling of rematching, the online experience at Tekken 8, so much better. You play 7, you're loading for like 10 seconds. Like you find a match, and you're just sitting there, and you're just like waiting, and waiting. And it's like, well, wait, let me just go on Twitter at this point, because it's so long. But Tekken 8 fixed that, and I'm so glad. I'm so happy. Another difference to me, at least as a little Tekken scrub baby, is Tekken 8 feels faster than 7 did. It could be that he just does more chip damage. A lot more moves have become power crushes, which means they get armor. Or, you know, heat burst, giving moves power crush, or like heat burst in general, just meaning if there's a gap, you can press the heat burst button and break out of that gap. The game feels way more offensive and faster. Like, it rewards you for going for this big. I talked about it with someone, and we agreed. The game felt faster. It was a lot more aggressive. Or the game rewards aggressiveness instead of passiveness, which is like a lot of Tekken 7, where I found out really was about waiting your turn, keeping people out, and using those big buttons. Also, Rage Art being a universal input, amazing. The fact that like you have to learn Rage Drive inputs for different characters in Tekken 7, kind of weird to me, because that's pretty useful. And like the fact that every character has a different Rage Art and Rage Drive input, like, was strange. I know it might be because it was an arcade only thing at first, so they only had so many buttons. And so maybe they're fixing that with 8 because they have more and they expect you to play on controller. But yeah, it was so weird to me. Every character I played in Tekken 8 felt really fun, except for King. I don't get him. Also, Lars was complicated. Like, I didn't understand. But including those two, it was really enjoyable to just pick up and play a random character until I decided like the French girl was really fun. I saw the Matterhorn. I'll be honest. I saw the Matterhorn and I was like, damn. She hits you with the mountain, and that was all I needed. And I've only played her since I even went back to 7, and I started playing her instead of who I was playing before. It was like Katarina and Nina. I was like, no, Lily now, Lily till I die. Anyway, I got a Tekken 7 game. I knew who plays 49th in VS Fighting, and I asked her a few questions. So here's some highlights. I have like have a pseudo interview process. I'll link the full and edited like Q&A in the description to really highlight the differences and like what I felt was cool. When I like going back to 7, it feels a lot slower than 8 ever did. Like,
it is not that the game is slower, it is that the pacing is focused on a different aspect of the game. Because like every Tekken game has like its focus on like what the meta is and how it is played really. The main issue that Tekken 7 has competitively, which, you know, you can see it as an issue, I see it as an issue, is that the game heavily rewards super defensive play. Basically, people think they want to make the game more mashy. They just want you to press more buttons, because, you know, when you do attacks, cool shit happens, right? Mm-hmm. That is not what they're trying to do. They're not trying to make decisions less meaningful. They are trying to reduce passive play. Because it is, when we're just backdashing and spacing out, you might think there is some big strategic battle going on, but at the end of the day, we're just waiting for the other to make a mistake. Another
thing I've noticed, going back to 7, at the very least for Lily, who was the character who I spent most of the beta with, is in 8, she seems to have gotten a lot more power crush moves. Is that just general across the board? Like, they really want to encourage you to really push the envelope and kind of force things and go, yes, you can mix into power crushes.
The change of power crushes and making them more of a mechanic is part of the new design philosophy of Tekken 8. Because, as I said before, they don't want to reduce defensive play. They don't want to reduce, like, they don't want to punish players who are defensive. They want defense to be more based around active decision making. And power crush is a huge tool for that. They want them to be like, okay, commit, you know, do a sidestep, I don't know, do a power crush. They want the defender to do something. They don't want the defender to just run away, hold back, backdash, and just, you know, randomly launch them.
Okay.
That's the one thing they really want to eliminate in Tekken 8, and that is what they mean by that whole aggressiveness game.
You know, everyone's seen, like, for example, the Koei gaming video where it's just Korean backdashing is great. It's part of, like, that identity of Tekken. That's how a lot of people view it. Do you think, you know, removing that, is it going to really help Tekken 8? Well, not necessarily removing it, but like making that less needed and less about the game identity. It's going to help new people get into Tekken, because there's not really another fighting game like Tekken. It has this kind of wrong, like after saying beta, I realized this wrong perception of it's a hard game, when really it seems to be a lot more about decision making and it's just the environment around Tekken.
I think Tekken kind of played itself by establishing this identity of being the hard fighting game, because they are not the most like difficult fighting game in history or like the most complex one. They have never been like the one with the highest like barrier to entry, But Tekken has historically suffered from bad tutorialization, which means that people get a wrong idea of what is important to get good at this game. Like, for example, most people think like backdash canceling is essential to even being decent at the game. It is absolutely not.
I was definitely one of those, admittedly. I definitely did think that.
Yeah, but like, how would you know? Because the game doesn't tell you, and like, the competitive community always preaches like, oh yeah, backdash canceling is everything, movement is everything. It is really not. What I think Tekken 8 improves on is just generally teaching the player on what is useful and what isn't. Like, for example, every character now has a main move section, which you saw yourself, right?
Yep.
And it not only tells you like, hey, this moves bring you into heat, or this is what you can do in rage, but at the bottom of the list there's also like, hey, this move is good against people who are standing blocking, this is good against people who are low blocking, this is a combo you can do, and the combos teach you the basic combo structure, which is all things that are infinitely more important than movement.
Anyway, all that said, what are my complaints? Honestly, I don't have any. I've always wanted to like get into Tekken to an extent, but I struggled before. And I feel like 8 is the perfect jumping on point for me. They made the game feel better. It looks prettier. They got rid of that ugly ass filter everything has in 7. Like, good lord. Why did they do that? And like, my only gripe is the lobby system isn't the best. But also I come from Strive. I don't have a complaint. That game has the worst online. Ever. Like, no. Don't give that to people. I'm sure there'll, like, in the full release, be ways to instantly match up with someone via Steam or PSN, instead of reliving my childhood trauma of going to an arcade and seeing all the machines are full and just waiting there awkwardly for a few minutes before being like, I'm gonna go and like go to, in this case, a different arcade. When I was a kid, I would just be like, I'm gonna go outside. Me. Outside. Anyway, this game, classic fighting game fun. Tekken is such a goofy franchise, and it's special. I'm sitting there with people who have way more hours than me in Tekken 8 at the end of the day. When like, I'm playing, they have way more hours, they have way more experience, and we're just talking about how silly the game is, because it has a reputation as being hard. It's optimized. I don't think it's hard. I don't think Tekken is a hard game franchise, which is strange to say now. But after having played 8, I've realized it's a lot easier. I think execution-wise, I mean, it depends on your characters. I think Mishima's have the credit. I did say earlier I can't like the electric. I don't know. It's like forward star, down forward. I don't know. But yeah, I struggled so hard to vibe with 7. Like, I gave it 7-8 hours before, and I just couldn't get into it. But after playing 8, I'm singing this game's praises. I am encouraging people to buy it if you're interested, because Tekken 8, it's hype, it's fun, it plays great without you having to look at loading screens for 7 seconds. Why did they do that? And also, music is amazing. Sorry, the music going hype. Anyway, I'm Youth, and I will see you in the next one. Maybe, possibly, Peggle video sometime.